What is up, everybody? What's up, family? It is your boy, Botimi Freed.
TWM.
And this is the Musical Mind Podcast. We got a very special guest here today, rapper and R&B singer, Warfare J.
Well, yeah, what's up, y'all?
What's up, man?
Thanks for being here.
Hey, we really appreciate
Thanks
you
for
being
having
here. Yeah. And we're going to get into his whole story in the artist spotlight. Y'all know how we do. We're going to play some of his music and really chop it up with him, man. So we're really excited to have him here. But as you guys know, here on the Musical Mind Podcast, what our goal is here is to be an open forum, a conversation to talk about musicians, mental health awareness, and how they all interline, how they kind of all work together.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean?
We want to know what musicians are experiencing.
Yeah.
We want to learn from them because, you know, it's like a high-paced lifestyle. There's
Yeah.
a lot of opportunities to engage with your emotions and communicate them to audiences.
Yeah.
So, you know, our take is that musicians know the most about musicians, and we want to learn from them.
Absolutely. And I think it's just like, you know, finding an audience, finding a crowd, finding a community, finding a village that really can understand your form of anxiety, or your form of what makes you tick, you know.
Yeah.
I think as artists, we all do the same things as far as writing and shows and stuff like that. So we really want this podcast to just be a place where artists can come and just feel safe.
Yeah.
We can have these conversations, you know. So, yeah. As you guys know, we go through some statistics or some quotes that are really prevalent right now or things that we can learn from. We also have the artist spotlight, which is always really dope. And we have our clinical cut, where we kind of get nerdy and really talk about some real scientific stuff when it comes to psychology and musicians. So that's going to be really great. We usually start off with the statistic or the quote.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I got you. We are talking about a study that was done out of Berlin on music performance anxiety.
Shout out Germany.
Yeah.
Hey.
So in the sample that they studied, there was about 21% who experienced such significant anxiety about performing that it was days ahead of time. Like we all know, if we're about to hop on stage, right, you're going to get some anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to have the energy to perform unless you have that?
Right,
This was to the point
Good.
where it was happening days ahead of time.
Days.
Some were, they said, you know, this can stop people from performing or even choose another career, right?
I'm out of here. That's crazy.
But they said, you know, basically, there's all sorts of psychiatric sort of conditions that go along with this, right? So it could be sweating, tremor, dry mouth, shortness of breath, panic attack, stress, and people cope with sometimes what they call safety behavior.
What was that?
Alcohol, drugs.
Okay,
Right.
they get in the element. They get a little loose.
Get
Okay,
loose, yeah.
That's it.
Or avoidance, not performing.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't do that one.
I like that. I was like, nah.
Warfare's like,
I don't know about that, but no, definitely. Like when I first started performing, I used to get like super like excited
Yeah.
that I would like scream in the mic and just lose my voice.
Word.
Like I would lose my
Damn.
voice on
I see.
stage.
Okay.
So yeah, sometimes I would like not talk to people in the crowd just so I can get myself mentally prepared.
like keep yourself.
Like I just blast, like I have both my headphones in to
Word.
listen to the songs that I'm about to perform.
Yeah.
Like nobody, like I wouldn't talk to nobody, be next to nobody or nothing, and then until I get on stage. But I would blast my voice
Gotcha.
so loud, knowing that I'm having a mic, I don't gotta yell.
Oh, I see.
So it would come out really like, oh, this guy's yelling like shit, man.
But that's all because I'm nervous.
Gotcha.
So I'm yelling.
I feel like I do
So
the
you have
same
to calm
thing,
yourself
man.
down?
Yeah, sometimes I have to calm myself down, especially
feel like
like
I do the
on,
same
on
thing.
big stages.
Yeah.
On big stages, so yeah, I definitely gotta calm myself
Word.
down.
Right, because in public speaking, right, they actually say that you should channel that nerves into energy.
Okay.
So people are like super nervous and then they get in front of the mic and then it's like, oh wow, they can be enthusiastic. But what I'm hearing from you say, like, that's not a good energy because then you maybe overperform maybe
yeah,
something like that.
Yeah. Like it'd be good, but then I would lose my voice like
Right.
in the middle of my performance. So it's like
Dang.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Wow, man, I'm glad you adjusted, man.
Yeah.
So do you think just doing it more has helped you kind of just like, or was this?
I say like doing it more and also having people around me that can also like keep me in a safe space.
Okay.
So whenever I perform, I have them with me, so I can just
Word.
look towards them. Like even though if I don't know a bunch of people in the crowd, I can look at them and okay, I'm all right. Let me just go ahead and
Nice.
perform.
Nice.
That is cool.
That's an interesting perspective to put on it, man. Having that community there to kind of be like your safety to look at, you
Yeah,
know.
like even if it's one person, like I have that one person in the crowd I can just look at and
Yeah.
say, okay, I'm all right. Let me just go ahead and keep
You're
going.
like grounded.
Yeah,
It's grounding.
That's
Interesting.
dope. That's dope, man. That's awesome. You know, I was actually looking for some artists who were dealing with this, and I found some interesting stuff, man. Adele, You know, I'm gonna give two spectrums. Adele, which is a great singer, right? Huge, hugely successful, great voice. One of the most beautiful voices that we know in our time, right? And then the other spectrum was Polo G. Is like a rapper who's like, you know what I'm saying? And I saw, you know, 2 interviews with them talking about performance anxiety.
Really?
And Adele, who has the most amazing voice, who sold more records than all of us put together here times 100. You know, she says that, you know, she was terrified performing. She said that literally she would go in front of her audience and she would just see them melt away. Like she would literally see them and she'd get scared. But she said that, you know, it always happens, but during the second and third song, something changes. It's like a shift. Her and the audience become one, and she feels more relaxed. And Polo G was speaking more along the lines of what you were saying, that safety. He's like, I have to be intoxicated. He said when I first started rapping, I had to be intoxicated. There's no way I was hitting the stage without being drunk. So, you know, you see it's a common trend, man.
He just keeps doing that? Like,
No,
does he ever get over that?
The thing about it is, it was, you know, being a new artist, right? And like with doing anything new in life, new job, you know, becoming a new father, anything, it brings anxiety. And if you don't learn to, you know, adjust, it will never be good. So Polo G's thing was, he adjusted by learning the aspects of performing. Earpieces, mic checks, mixing right. He said all those things he had to look at more. At first he was just a rapper, he would just go up there, but he had to look at those things more, and that's how he kind of overcame it. So if you feel like you're going to have a good performance, the anxiety goes away. If you checked your earpiece, if you've done this, if you did that, you did that.
That's right.
You see your person in the crowd.
Fair.
So I think he just learned to adjust.
That's good.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think, too, there's something about the style of music that you create. As a younger artist, I think my music was less vulnerable, and so I could get up there with this sort of excitement, but I would think I was putting on a show more. But like in more recent work where I'm being like more vulnerable, I'm connecting with what you said. Like, you gotta calm down. I gotta be right in that middle because that's the only where I'm true. Like where I'm solid. I'm being real. But if the crowd's big, you're gonna feel that shit.
You're gonna feel it. I think your music's gotta come on and just you gotta kind of like go back into where you were when you wrote that. Like, this is my song.
Definitely like specific songs that I perform. I try to put myself back in that mode, like how I was feeling during that song. So I try to make sure I give off that energy.
Facts. Got to. You know, I think for me, it's a little different than you guys. I mean, performance anxiety for me comes from a multitude of reasons. I think one is like, what's that thing called, imposter syndrome? I feel like, man, like, what am I really saying up here, man? That they really want to hear. You know what I mean? That comes to my thoughts sometimes. And I'm like, all right, cool, but going back to my song and where I was at when I wrote it, like, this is my shit. You know what I'm saying? That always helps me go up there. A second thing is, you know, the anxiety of wanting to give a good performance. So for me, you know, I'm a heavy smoker, guys. I'm not gonna say what I smoke, but you know, I'm 300 pounds. You know what I mean? So breath work comes into play. And I worry about that stuff, but the reality of it is, I need to adjust like Polo G. You know, do a 30-minute session, rapping your song, stuff like that to take away the anxiety. So I think those are the two big ones for me, is like imposter syndrome and like just cardio, like breath work.
You definitely. You gotta have your workouts in.
Definitely.
And as like, I know instrumentalists, because a lot of this study had to do with like orchestra musicians.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like playing instruments?
Yeah, so they're not connected with their performance ability. And I'm a guitarist too, so I know when you're super nervous, you know, and you're not breathing through what you're playing, your fingers don't work. You know, you're hitting wrong notes, and you can just imagine what that would be like on an orchestra level.
Because, you know, with the orchestra, you have to stay in tune with everything else. So if you mess up, they're gonna hear it. You know what I mean? I think rappers have it the easiest though. We fuck up, and it's just like,
that's
we could mess up and not say nothing for a minute, then catch back up.
Exactly.
That's what they say about showbiz, right? Just don't make mistakes, and if you do make a mistake, just don't make a mistake. Pretend like you didn't. Just keep moving. No, catches it.
Mistake what?
Exactly. That was part of the creative voice.
Yeah.
No wrong notes, only poor choices.
So that study was out of Germany, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, man. What was the percentage on that again? Do you remember?
Well, they said 21% were experiencing performance anxiety like days ahead of the performance.
Wow. Days ahead.
And only 15% actually sought help with the performance anxiety. Gotcha. So we just think of it as something that, you know, maybe we got to deal with because there's no support for it. But you think at the professional level,
There's got to be at the
we ought
professional
to
level.
be. Yeah, but why can't we need access to that too, right?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what I'm saying.
think about
We're
So that goes to show that there's opportunity in our space
Yeah.
for many different venues to be profitable and to
Right.
have a service that you offer to artists.
Yeah.
In other fields, they have services. Well, hey, we'll prep you for your certification.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Yeah.
no company for independent artists to say, hey, we'll do everything. We'll do your performance. We'll coach you on that. We'll coach you on pitching yourself. We'll coach you on shows. We'll coach you on media.
Yeah.
There's no company for independent artists that says
no.
$10 a month. We'll do it for all you guys.
Maybe
Maybe not 10.
No, that's a great deal.
But you know what I'm saying?
I'll be a customer.
Yeah,
Come on,
anyway.
$10. Let's go.
Yeah,
$10.
but, yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
No, but I hear what you're saying, because why can't we access that help, or why don't we think to? That's another thing. I think if we value our music, and we talked about this in earlier episodes, like the value we bring to the stage, and when people hear what
Right.
we're speaking and how it helps them, if we're valuing it enough in ourselves, then we're going to seek out the help
Right.
to get over things like
Yeah.
music performance anxiety, because we're like,
Right.
it's worth it.
Do you think that a lot of artists don't value their music the way they should, or their art the way they should?
I say some artists. Like some
Some.
artists, like they just do it for fun. Like I done
Mhm.
met a couple people performing. They just make music just to make music. They don't even want to
Gotcha.
make money from their music.
Word.
Yeah.
Like they just do it just
Okay.
to do it because they can. Like me personally, like I just want to make music. I just want to inspire people really.
That's what's up, bro.
So I want to tell people my story, what I've
Yeah.
been through, what I've seen,
Facts.
or just what I could come up with.
Word,
Yeah.
word. Get it out to the people, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. Well, let's
Time
get
for
into
the-
you. Let's
Yeah.
get into the artist
Artist
spotlight,
spotlight.
man.
Let's do it.
Once again, everybody, we have a special guest, Warfare J, rapper and R&B artist out of Forestville, Maryland. But he's
Yes.
doing big things, man. He ain't just sitting in Forestville.
Nah.
Talk to us, man. Tell us who you are and what you do and what inspired you.
Yeah. My name is Warfare J. I'm a rapper, singer a little bit R&B. I'm also an audio engineer, so my whole catalog, I mix and master, I record
Fire.
myself. So, starting off, I used to, so this basically started in school. I was very good at poems in English class, so my teacher always, pointed me out and say, come read this to the class,
Word.
I always had the best poems, so I never really thought anything of it.
Mhm.
Like, I'm just good at making words bend, twist, rhyme.
It's an
Like,
art, man.
Like,
It's
I'm
so-
good at, I could literally make anything rhyme. Like, it's so crazy.
Rhyme something with orange.
Orange.
It's bananas. Supposed to ask about me.
Oh, banana?
Yeah,
You
that's
gonna
that
give him a
famous.
hard one.
It's that famous.
Orange.
It's that
Orange.
famous.
Okay, let me see.
reel.
Orange. Let me see. Orange.
Warfare J on the spot, everybody.
Let's go. Yeah.
Orange. Okay. You say the word orange. I told you I can make I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
You
all
said
good.
the word orange. I told you I can make things bend. So
Yeah.
now that we're exploring.
Oh,
okay.
There you go.
Zero music performance anxiety.
Nah, he was ready.
Nailed
He
it.
was
right
ready.
there.
He was like,
I had to think
okay.
about it. I had to think about it. I don't really
Awesome.
freestyle, but no.
Just mess with
Like
you.
I said, I could
Yeah.
I can make like you wouldn't think orange and exploring
Right.
would rhyme, but like I said, I can make things
Finesse
bend.
it, yeah.
I can
See.
finesse it. It's the way I talk. So.
Awesome.
But yeah, so I started basically writing poems, doing freestyles in school. I never really had money for it, studio time. So I don't know if you all, I'm young, so I don't know if you all.
How old are you, by the way?
I'm 26.
Okay.
Okay, so back in the day, there was this game called Rock Band. It came with the drums,
I
guitar,
remember that,
it came with
yeah.
the mic.
Yeah.
So again, I didn't have the money to go to the studio, so I found this software online called Mixpad. It's like a studio software. It's
Mhm.
like kind of like Pro Tools, but it's like a dumbed down
Gotcha.
version. So I recorded my first song using like a Rock Band USB mic on the
Wow.
computer, and I taught myself how to EQ, compress,
Yeah,
how to use
that's dope.
reverb, how to use
That's
echo. So I just started from there, and then I eventually, I learned FL Studio, Pro
Mhm.
Tools,
Wow.
Logic Pro.
That's fun.
So
That's
from
awesome,
there, I
man.
just been recording myself. Like every song, again, like I record myself.
That's crazy. So listen, man, self-taught guys, it can be done.
Yeah.
A lot of you musicians are doing it out there. You guys know, man.
Yeah.
It can be done. It's awesome. It's awesome, man.
Thank you.
We're gonna listen to the track, huh?
Yeah.
Is it time?
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's
okay.
take a listen. We'll pull it up here real quick. Let's listen to the track. I think it's really powerful. You guys are gonna enjoy it, and we're definitely gonna chop it up.
Definitely.
This is "Dark Thoughts" by Warfare J.
Yep. Can't forget SGMB Judge.
SGMB, absolutely. Let me not forget them.
Go and say goodbye. As my soul float in the sky. Look at what you did to me. Took my last breath, now you stuck sitting there in misery. Too little, too late, now I'm dead with an epiphany. Finally got a piece of mind, that's what I call tranquility. Yeah, go and say goodbye. That's my soul floating in the sky. I know this sound crazy, but these are how my thoughts been lately. Devil in my ear, he tryna take me, but I won't let him break me. Back against the wall, but I'ma still pull through like Brady. Ain't too far to lose, no, I won't stop, I gotta make it. I feel that I'm close, I just gotta.
So much pain up in my body, almost lost it. Popped a couple Zans, cause they help with my depression. Addicted to this lane, for that money I'm a fan. Crazy how this shit all started as a dream. And my bros, they right here with me, they gon' ride. If I die today, I pray my soul reach the sky. Ain't no limits to this shit, so my niggas, we gon' win. The devil in my ear try to take my soul from me. I pray he never ever get a hold of me. Pray to God every night they cleanse my soul. Gotta calculate my moves so I don't die before I'm 25. Take your chances with my life, like fuck it, roll the dice. Cause nothing in this life is really guaranteed. Started out with nothing, I swear I want it all. In a war with myself, I swear I'm fighting depression. Put my heart into the mic, I hope they get the message. Yeah, I hope they get the message.
Go and say goodbye. That's my soul floating in the sky. I know this sound crazy, but these are how my thoughts been lately. Devil in my ear, he tryna take me, but I won't let him break me. Back against the wall, but I'ma still pull through like Brady. Ain't too far to lose, no, I won't stop, I gotta make it. I feel that I'm close, I just gotta take it.
Your performance had moved somebody in the audience to say, hey, I didn't even know someone like you could go through this.
Right, yeah.
And how it had what you were talking about TV, it had the effect of like expanding someone's empathy.
Yeah,
to just
exactly
look at
what I was
someone
trying
and
to
say
say.
like,
Yeah.
wow, you don't know what's lurking under the surface.
Yeah.
And for me, one of the most healing things I think you can ever give anybody when it comes to their pain or their emotional challenges with mental health is to be a learner.
Yeah.
Is like to be a listener.
Yeah.
But when he repeated to you, "Hey, I heard you."
Yeah.
What did that feel like to you?
Right. No, it was like I was also because I didn't know what he was gonna say.
Yeah.
So I was like a little bit nervous. But I was receptive
Yeah.
of what he said. So
And
I
probably
was
validating too,
Yeah,
right?
validating.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm glad that I made that song.
Yeah.
That's right.
So like I said, I try to make music that
Yeah.
can help people, or I could tell my story.
Awesome.
Like maybe somebody else is feeling that way as well, but they
Definitely.
just don't know.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's that term you use? Something empathy? Shared empathy? What was that? Sharing empathy just now?
Expanding your
em-
empathy.
expanding people's empathy through music, bro. I just like that, man. I think of like Michael
Expanding,
Jackson.
yeah.
Michael Jackson, "We Are the World." Like, damn, I felt like one with the world when I first heard that as a kid, and I felt like I could feel the pain of people in India. You know what I mean? So that's definitely cool.
Especially with the video.
Right? Yeah, the video was
I
amazing,
don't remember the
man.
video.
What?
I'm gonna have to go back. Oh,
Yeah.
cut this part. Cut this part.
I'm gonna make a nice reel out of that. No worries.
Oh man.
All right. I also want to hear about. You talked about epiphany and tranquility.
Tranquility. Yeah.
So when I hear that, it feels like the other side of the spectrum when it comes to depression, anxiety.
Yeah.
The idea of having an epiphany or experiencing tranquility.
Yeah. So basically, that's towards the end of the verse. So tranquility, I could speak on that. So basically, in the verse, I'm talking about as if I was dead. So like I said, if I was dead, that's when I could finally find peace. Like the only time, really, personally, like when I find peace is like when I'm in a dark room, sitting in the studio. I have the studio in the house. I basically, like, for the most part, I could say I make the best part of my music is if I'm in the studio room with the lights off, like the computer, but I dim the computer light.
Gotcha.
And I record in the dark.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, and also I write in the dark as well. So,
Okay.
basically, so that's the tranquility part. I find that I could be at peace, like when I'm alone in a dark space. I know that's like wrong, but for me, that's what works for me.
Yeah, whatever works for you.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's wrong.
I mean,
There's no wrong here in the musical line.
You're in the musical line. We're learning from you, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
because it can help somebody else.
What I hear from
that,
what I hear from that is like when you need to refresh.
Yeah.
We could call that self-care.
Right.
Lights go out, studio mic, spitting the verses that are realist to you
Yeah.
has a therapeutic effect.
Yeah. No, it
That's not a wrong thing.
It
It's not a
definitely
wrong
helps,
thing.
Hence the song, Dark Thoughts. So
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
So
Makes sense.
but yeah, it definitely helps. The epiphany part, it coincides with the tranquility of me. Like I said, I was speaking as if I was dead.
Mhm.
So if I was gone, it's an epiphany. I'm gone. You can't talk to me no more. You can't vent to me
yeah.
no more.
Referring to yourself.
Yeah,
as
it was-
referring to myself.
Yeah.
I picked up on that, man, and
Yeah.
in the parts of the verse where you're speaking to somebody who would at some point be missing you,
Yeah.
and they can't even vent to you anymore. Like,
Right,
that was
right.
a big one to me, and I was like, man, so I've had those experiences where people are gone and they're gone.
Yeah.
And everything you wanted to say to them, you can't say no more. So
Yeah.
I definitely resonated with that. You saying, hey, listen, I feel like going right now, guys.
Yeah.
I'm here now.
Damn.
I won't be here.
Yeah.
But I also think that there's a lot of, in a sense, death that brings tranquility and brings epiphanies, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people do certain things like ketamine treatments or psychedelics, and there's a thing called ego death.
Yeah.
And
What can I say?
ego
It's
death.
where we find happiness.
Well, it's not where we find happiness, but where people come out of that and there is an epiphany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is a tranquility for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I think that it's awesome that you were able to go to that place in your music without any drugs. I don't think so, but
Yeah, I
but-
don't even drink or smoke.
Wow, you see, so that's awesome that music can take you to that same place where you can have that real life thought about death.
Yeah.
Think you really think
Yeah.
about yourself dead.
Right.
I know you were
The
because
ego
you're like,
death experience,
like, you
yeah.
can't even vent to me. You're speaking about somebody,
Yeah.
So I think that ego death was found even in your lyricism, and I think it led to that epiphany and that tranquility, and I think that people can resonate with that. I think it's an awesome song. man.
Definitely. Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate
great
it.
song. Yeah,
Thank
definitely some real deep lyrics. So I
Yeah,
appreciate
thank you.
that.
Did you ever seek any professional help for depression?
I went to a therapist once.
Okay.
And then the only reason I stopped, it was just like, I don't know, it was far away.
Okay.
And then I have a daughter.
hmm
What
Awesome.
else? It was
So it was
just
a
taken
one-time-
away from my music.
I see.
So
I see.
I didn't really want to be away from it because, like I said, that's the only thing that really brings me peace. Really, like
Yeah.
being around my daughter.
Yeah.
And so
That's awesome, man. That's
And
awesome.
one thing that we're learning about as we do the podcast is music therapy. So
Yeah.
the exact experience that you describe is something that may be common. I think a lot of artists
Yeah.
can resonate with that. Like,
Mhm.
wow, sitting with my instrument, writing a song, it's like releasing something that I've been
Right.
in conflict with or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. But to create that experience in someone who maybe isn't so familiar with it, a non-musician, but using what you do as a musician to help them, that's where music therapy comes in.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's one of
Expressive therapy.
one of the things that I'm trying to explore on this podcast and understand a little bit more
Mhm.
is how that
Yeah.
works, because it's a powerful
It's very
moment.
interesting,
Yeah, it's a
man.
powerful
Yeah.
moment.
I feel like when you're able to express yourself and your emotions through your music,
Mhm.
you're able to release something in your music. I think even just when people hear it, who are going through things,
Yeah.
they might be going through the same thing,
Right.
and they don't know how to get it out.
Right.
They don't have music.
And
Yeah,
then they can
maybe
hear
they're
your song.
depressed.
Yeah,
And then,
that's-
that
And
can help
they
Yeah.
cry. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, I needed to feel that.
Yes,
Like,
yes,
I don't
yes,
have a
yes.
music release. I work 80 hours a week. I have
Yeah.
4 kids.
Right.
I don't know how to release this, but I do feel what you feel, bro.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
man, I just think, I love the podcast, and I'm a host on Bias, but I just love these conversations that we have with yourself,
Thank you.
artists. And I think that your song is really powerful, man.
It's very
Thank you.
powerful, and what I like about it too is it maintains its grit, it maintains the energy.
Right.
It's still hard.
And it's quality.
still hard
Yeah,
as
it's still
fuck.
a good
You
track.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
but your persona on it is still hard as fuck, even though
Yeah.
you're talking about maybe some of these issues that we might be reluctant to share with everybody.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Word.
Mhm.
Are we
Awesome,
heading back
man.
are we turning back around on the clinical cut?
Well,
Is it that
yeah,
time?
we can go back to the clinical cut, but I want to hear a little bit about what you got going on as far as
Oh,
performances
that's
or new
right,
singles
yeah.
you got
Yeah.
coming out or
Yes.
anything like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
2 weeks from now, I'll be in Miami.
Okay,
I'll be out there
NIL.
with Rock Nation will be out there.
Word.
You heard of On the Radar Radio. They'll
Dope.
be out there.
Nice.
Lyrical Lemonade.
Okay. Cole
what
Bennett,
else?
right?
Yeah,
Cole
yeah,
Bennett.
yeah.
Cool.
Who
Awesome.
else? I think Def Jam's is going to be in the building.
That's
It's
lit,
going to
man.
be a lot
Yeah.
of A&Rs.
Okay.
A bunch of people out there. So I'll be performing out there for 2 days.
Word.
And then I got a couple of radio interviews,
Nice.
lined up. So I'm gonna just, try to make that work and
That's
try
awesome,
to network
man.
with some artists out there as well.
Cool. Any
Yep.
music coming out? Any new ones coming out? Or are you
yes.
pushing this? Okay.
Yeah, just new music is coming out. So I have an album dropping in, I want to say August.
Okay.
I'm pushing for August. It's
Sweet.
Too Little Too Late Part 3.
Okay.
So that'll be dropping in August. I have
Awesome.
a couple of special features on there.
Okay.
I can say one of the features.
Let's hear it. Drop the
is
gems.
Secret feature.
Oh, it's a secret.
Secret feature.
Yeah, man. I want to hear the secret feature.
No,
man.
come on. You're going to break a contract,
Listen,
bro.
as
You're
long as
going to
there's
fuck
no
up the contract.
contracts, we're
Yeah,
good.
leave it.
But I want the
It's
exclusive.
a big artist.
I want the exclusive. I want.
You wanna know?
You
Yes,
want to
please.
choose on the Musical Mind Pod?
On the musical
Yeah,
mind.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
Sean Kingston is on
Oh, too beautiful, girl.
Hell yeah.
Bro, that's
how'd that happen?
fucking dope.
Don't
Hey,
toss.
that's dope.
Yeah, that's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
But check out his latest album when it comes out in
Yeah,
August,
yeah.
man. Check out Warfare J, man. Sean Kingston's gonna be that's really dope to hear, man. That's
Definitely,
awesome. I know he actually had some. I was reading something about him with mental health a couple of years ago. So cool dude, man. Awesome.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
great.
Yeah, let's go to the clinical cut.
All right, yeah. So music performance anxiety. We're talking about how 15% only were seeking any sort of treatment for this, right? So only 15% of the study said to themselves, "Hey, this is bad enough, and my music is important enough. I'm going to go and say, hey, I want to work with a therapist for this."
Yeah.
But the study's results had said that psychological counseling in general was rated to be helpful in about 60 to 62% by patients in the studies. So it's effective,
Okay.
the psychological counseling. In particular, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy techniques.
Okay.
So there was some breathing activities, some mindfulness activities that artists could use. Also cognitive restructuring. So this is, as you said, taking some of those thoughts that are causing us to not do the best in our performance and restructuring them
Okay.
so that they don't
Interesting.
have
I might
a
have to
negative
check
impact
that
on
out.
our performance.
Yeah.
Psychoanalytic therapy also, and then they also mentioned beta blockers. So again,
Beta
using
blockers.
medications
Medications.
to
alcohol.
help us. Yeah. I know, right? It sounds a lot like the safety
Polo
behaviors.
G, yeah.
And then exercise. Aerobic exercise was found to be effective against music performance anxiety in 70% of musicians.
What?
And yoga was rated as helpful in 58%.
I'm working out now, yo.
Work out, we gotta do some yoga before we hop on the stage.
That's what I'm saying. Yoga session before the stage, man. I can do it. I can do it, man. That's awesome, man. I think it's crazy how only 15% of people or artists seek out help for it.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? I think it's such a low number.
I don't know.
I have an idea.
Go for it.
I think it's because only 15% of artists get paid to do it.
You think so?
I think it's a matter
Because
of
Polo G and
financial.
Adele, this is their business.
Yeah.
They make their living from this.
Yeah.
And I think if
They
people
might be scared.
well, yeah, the fear might just be
Yeah.
that bad. They don't even
Yeah.
want to deal with it. That's true. Some of them are dropping out, right? They're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be an artist anymore. Yeah, but
Yeah, and that's what even the study said. Some just choose a different career path,
that's
which
real
is
fear
which
right
is
there, man.
which is sad when you think of somebody who could be a phenomenal musician,
Yeah.
phenomenal creative, and then
Yeah.
tapping out because of anxiety. But if you assume, hey, well, this is part of the game, I just got
Yeah.
to deal.
Mm-hmm.
But there's professional services that want to help you deal.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, man. Yeah, I think that any artist listening right now, if you have performance anxiety, I mean, this is why we do this. These numbers are great. It's scientifically proven that if you get help for it, 60 to 70% chance that you can overcome it and do the great art and performances that you want to do. So don't be scared, man. Just
Yeah.
reach out and make it work.
That's it.
Yeah,
You got to
man.
find some resources, put them on the credits.
Nah, I don't know, man. Yeah, we do gotta find some, man.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to
Get there.
sponsor us and put their...
That's right.
Yeah.
No, seriously,
definitely.
therapists, right? Organizations that are doing this, reach out.
Yeah.
We're interested.
Clinical practitioners, artists, obviously, mental health professionals, mental health companies. If anybody wants to reach out and partner with us, join on the great conversation and just be a resource to our listeners, of course, that's what we're here for. So, yeah. Hey, everybody, man. Appreciate you, Warfare Jay.
Yeah,
Thanks
thanks
for
for
coming
being
through,
on the
man.
show.
for having me.
Yeah.
It's been great,
Yeah.
man. It's been great. Where can they follow you as far as handles and stuff like that?
Okay, on all social media is WARFARE_J. Again, that's WARFARE_J, Warfare J. And on all streaming platforms, you can just put in Warfare J. I'm going to come up.
Awesome.
Dope.
Dope.
Thank you, sir.
All right, everybody.
Alrighty.
Wrapping it up. Musical Mind Podcast. See you guys
See you
later.
next time.